If I get out, I'm not coming back. That's what prosecutors say a Cullman, Alabama spa owner told someone on a recorded jail phone call. A woman who was at the time staring down 25 counts, including drug trafficking charges that carry lengthy mandatory prison sentences. Almost a year later, she's now out on bond, and this summer, her lawyers asked a judge for a 5-day trip out of state for what they called a professional development and networking summit in Nashville. The motion included an exhibit, a copy of a letter that prosecutors say was written by AI. They say the real reason for that trip wasn't a summit at all. It was to shoot paid adult content for a subscription service. This is the story of Whitney Cheatham, a wellness spa owner accused of running a prescription forgery and drug trafficking operation out of her own business, who prosecutors now say also tried to deceive a judge. This is 6 on Your Side Investigates. Each week we take you inside local cases and the courtroom with original records and data, no speculation. I'm your host, Jen Horton, investigative reporter with 20 years on the job covering violent crime and corruption right here in Alabama. This case is still open. Every person we talk about here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Let's start from the very beginning. Cullman is a small city about 50 miles north of Birmingham. Infusion Wellness and Spa was a business that offered similar services that you see in many spas around here. IV drips, wellness treatments, the whole self-care aesthetic. Whitney Leanne Cheatham, 33, was listed as the owner. In early August 2025, about a year ago, Cullman police got a tip. A series of forged prescriptions had been written and filled at pharmacies around town. Real pharmacies, real controlled substances, just not real prescriptions. Investigators traced them all back to the spa. On August 11th, police got a warrant and searched the business, walking away with what they called, quote, key evidence. 4 days later, arrest warrants went out for Cheatham. She turned herself in. She was booked on 25 charges, 3 counts of drug trafficking, conspiracy to traffic, attempted trafficking, 6 counts of unlawful distribution of a controlled substance, practicing without a license, and 11 counts of forgery. Those are misdemeanors. 3 days after Cheatham turned herself in, Cullman police put out a public appeal. They were looking for her father, Kelvin Neal Cheatham, on charges that included drug trafficking. He was gone for more than 2 weeks before he finally turned himself in, facing 11 charges of his own, 6 of them felonies. Then another person arrested, Cody Ray Smith, taken into custody August 20th, charged with 11 offenses, also including criminal conspiracy and possession of a forged instrument. 3 people, nearly 50 combined counts, and 1 business at the center of it all. On December 4th, 2025, a Cullman County grand jury found probable cause that Cheatham committed these offenses. 20 counts this time, most of them felonies, 3 drug trafficking counts, unlawful distribution of oxycodone, hydrocodone, Adderall, Xanax, testosterone, all moving through the spa's address in Cullman between December 2024 and August 2025, all according to that indictment. Conspiracy to traffic drugs, attempted trafficking, practicing medicine without a license, and 6 counts of forging a prescription for a controlled substance. Those are misdemeanors. Her bond post-indictment was set at more than $1 million with one condition: do not leave the state of Alabama without the court's permission. Then on July 31st, 2026, Whitney Cheatham's attorneys filed a motion. They asked the court to lift the leave policy for Alabama for 5 days, August 6th through 10th, so she could travel to Nashville, Tennessee. They said the reason is because Whitney is a content creator who needed to travel for such job. The motion said she'd be back for every court date, and attached to that motion as proof was a letter. The letter was from the Content House. It said, "Dear Whitney Donaldson, we're excited to announce our upcoming professional development and networking summit in Nashville, Tennessee from August 6th through August 10th. This event is a key investment in your team's growth, collaboration, and long-term success." It noted a meet and greet with the company's leadership, social networking, confidence and personal branding training, team building, and industry insights. No signature, no name attached to company leadership, no street address, no email. You get the point. Assistant District Attorney Nathan Brock wasted no time responding on the same day to this motion. He started with the math. 20 counts, 3 of them trafficking, 2 of those carrying 25-year mandatory minimums. That's the sentence. A defendant facing that, Brock wrote, has every reason to run. Then he says the court doesn't have to guess whether she would. She's already said so on that recorded jail call, the one where she allegedly told someone to pass a message to her father, the co-defendant who was still on the run at the time. The message, don't turn yourself in. On that same call, prosecutors say she said that if she ever got out, she wasn't coming back. Then Brock turns to the letter and takes it line by line. No real company, he writes, just Content House. No address, no phone number, no email, no date, no signature, no venue for the supposed summit, no hotel, no schedule, no registration. So the state ran it through Pangram, described in the filing as a recognized AI detection service. The finding, the entirety of that letter generated by AI. Then Brock ties it to something already in the record. At an earlier hearing, prosecutors say they introduced evidence that Cheatham used ChatGPT to ask how to forge a prescription for narcotics. A defendant under indictment for 6 counts of forgery, he wrote, has now handed the court what appears to be one more fabricated document. Then the filing lays out what the state says the trip was actually for. On the same day, Cheatham's attorneys filed that bond motion. Prosecutors say she posted on Instagram an account the filing says openly advertises links to her subscription pornography platforms, telling followers she was, quote, getting hot and ready for the Content House the first weekend of August, and that she, quote, couldn't wait to play and film something extra naughty while she was there, and then ask who's excited to watch, with various emojis. The state's conclusion, there is no summit. There are no professional development sessions, no guest speakers, no company leadership. The purpose of this trip is to film pornography for commercial distribution. The state didn't just ask the judge to deny the trip, it also asks to increase Cheatham's bond and tighten the conditions for her release, arguing that filing a fabricated document with a court is, quote, in itself a crime. Circuit Judge Emily Johnson denied the order, but didn't rule on whether the letter was fake or what the trip was really for. She ruled on the fundamentals: flight risk, the severity of the charges, and the bond already in place. Her conclusion, the court is not persuaded that the requested modification of the defendant's bond conditions is appropriate at this time. Whitney Cheatham remains in Alabama, still out on bond and facing 20 serious counts, including those that hold mandatory lengthy sentences if convicted. Her father and a third co-defendant, Cody Ray Smith, have their own cases that are also moving through this same court. And as of this recording, court records don't show a set trial date. And the question the state raised about the letter and what that could mean for Cheatham going forward, it's all still just an allegation, not a true finding. We'll be watching this one. Thanks for sticking with us through this episode. I want to hear from you. Please send me your questions and the cases that you want to see here. Email me directly, jennifer.horton@wbrc.com. And if this kind of reporting matters to you, please follow this podcast and subscribe. We don't want you to miss anything. We'll see you right back here next week. Bye for now.